Hello, my name is MacJo, and today I'm uploading a time-lapse video of two paintings that I did recently, which dived more into the character designs of characters from a previous illustration set that I did called Delivering the Pearl and Stealing the Pearl. You can find time-lapse videos of delivering and stealing the pearl on my channel in a separate video. I'm going to say this again later on, but unlike the original illustrations these characters come from, these paintings are more realistic, so I used more realistic references and anatomical references that were accurate to life to get the style leaning more towards realism than cartoonism. If you want to see what the originals look like, there is another YouTube video for it, but if you've already watched that one, then you'll be able to tell that the styles are wildly different. Like, it's completely different from the original. It still holds the same characteristics, but it's more detailed and it looks cleaner and better, and once I get to coloring, it's gonna look a lot more sloppy, but it's still realistic in style. For a few seconds earlier, you could see part of the original illustration. With the coloring, I'm trying to capture the same spooky vibes that the original gave off. I'm doing a lot of strong violet and neon green. There it is again. So I'm coloring it now. It's a really sloppy painting, so it doesn't have any sharp edges, nothing's really uniform, or nothing's supposed to look like it's drawn. It's kind of, like you can tell right now, I'm just kind of like splashing colors down at random. Not completely at random, like you can tell what things are, but I'm not using line art. Like I'm just kind of like going in with the paint tool and doing whatever looks right. But it's, that's kind of the style I was going for, was like kind of rough and sketchy. And it kind of adds to the theme and the mood of the piece and kind of makes it look unfinished. I kind of liked that, and I'd like to know your opinion, but at the same time, I don't know. I think it's interesting, but it's not something that I think I'll do in the future. This next time-lapse is of the guard character. I got to practice anatomy a lot more with this character, as well as textures and shading. The original illustrations that these characters came from were more cartoon, as you can see in the corner by my reference, and I kind of wanted these paintings to look more realistic, or a different style completely. So I used realistic examples, and all of my references were anatomically correct and real examples of people, so that all of the limbs were proportionate, as they should be, and the drawing looked much better because of that. Using references definitely made this one of my best anatomical drawings to date. where I begin coloring in the flat colors for the different parts of the person. I'm also using red to shade right now, which I'm going to change and opacify later so that the shadows are uniform. I changed the background color a couple of times because I want it to be a stark contrast to the colors of the character so that it's easier to see how the character looks in comparison. It's hard to describe, but something about making the background a solid color that's different from every color on the character makes the character stand out more and makes it easier for them to paint. That could be my personal preference, or it could be something that could help you. I recommend trying it in the future because it really does help. Although I wouldn't recommend using like the weird brown that I'm using right now. I would use a gray tone on the darker side, depending on what you're drawing. And it'll help make your character pop more on the page. Now I'm beginning to finalize the coloring process. At this point it's been hours and I'm getting real tired of this piece, and because it's just an experiment in character, I'm not really worried about finishing it, so I'm just adding a few more small details and finishing up some of the shading and blending and such, and then I'm going to finish the background and make it look more uniform, and that's going to be the end of the video. Thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. If you really liked it, please like and comment and tell me what you thought of the art or the video itself. It really helps boost my self-esteem to see people interacting with my work, so if you would subscribe, like, or comment, anything is really helpful and it helps me make future content. And as always, I hope you have a fantastic day. I hope you learned something or learned what not to do, and I hope to see you on my videos in the future. Thank you and goodbye!